University of Buffalo taking on the Ohio Bobcats in Ohio at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. UB is technically a 3-point favorite on the road with an over-under opening at 58.5. I love what the University of Buffalo has done so far this year. Yes, they had the loss to Holy Cross. They started off very weak with the loss against Maryland, a loss against Holy Cross, and then a loss against Coastal. Two of those teams, and Holy Cross, as we've mentioned at the beginning of the show, are no pushovers. Those are actually some really good football teams. When the MAC play started, though, they completely turned it around. They started playing really good football. We saw what we saw last week against Toledo, coming back very strong, 24 points deficit. And I really love what that quarterback from Lakewood's doing, Cole Snyder. Really big fan of that guy. I think he has an opportunity to really do big things. He's only a sophomore. He's only going to get better. However, this season, they're taking on Ohio. The winner of this game will be the leader of the MAC East, a division in the conference we didn't think was going to be super strong. We thought it was going to be all about the MAC West. It's really not the case. I'm actually quite surprised. I'm looking forward to this one. As you can tell, I'm leaning towards the Bulls.
Right. And then again, let me reassure all of my close friends in the Buffalo, Niagara Falls, Erie, and Niagara County region. Okay, yes, I'm secretly pulling for the Bulls, but we have to show that we root for all teams on some level. That's why I've got my Ohio Bobcats shirt on. I would be happy if some of the people I know in Buffalo would send me some free Buffalo Bulls gear. I'll wear it every week if you give it to me. But right. I mean, that's Christian's home area. It's his home turf there. So we're not going to complain if that stuff just shows up at our houses. But that aside, shameless plugging aside for free merch, this is going to be a very interesting football game. I'm wondering if the defenses show up, or is this going to be a MAC wide open, up and down the field kind of game? Ohio has a way, I think, of matching up well against UB, on both sides of the ball, where they could, quote unquote, surprise here. I mean, the line's not that big. I think it's a 1.5. The last one I saw that UB was favored
3 points. 3 point.
Is that 3 point now? Okay. Yeah. They've got a pair of backs. They could be the story of the game. And that's the great thing about Cole Snyder is that he doesn't feel that he has to be the guy that get on my back. I'm going to throw for 500 yards and we'll win. Okay. I think he learned from some of the early season games. Again, you mentioned Holy Cross. I mean, they're that big score against Fordham. I'm upsetting. They've got a great defense. Maryland has shown they've got a great defense, and Maryland has been better than a lot of people thought. You and I were very high on Maryland, but they've been better throughout the season. Coastal Carolina should be ranked. They were not ranked in this top 25, were they?
No. Okay, no, they had a bye week after the loss against Old Dominion, and then they did beat Marshall, but they're not ranked right now.
Yeah, but again, you shouldn't be punished for a bye week. But another show, another topic. So it's not like Buffalo lost to teams that were just, oh, what a shock. Oh, what a shock. Ohio, it should be fun. They can't turn the ball over. Their quarterback's thrown for almost 2,500 yards. He has more touchdowns than interceptions, but he's got a pretty significant amount of interceptions. So you got to hope Ohio can keep control of the ball. I can't wait. It's, if these were teams that hadn't even won yet, it doesn't matter. It's MACtion. There's something special about having MAC football, middle American conference football. It's a perfect name and a perfect highlight, and give credit to ESPN for figuring it out, because not only are there a lot of guys that are playing in the NFL that have come through the MAC, and a lot of coaches that have kind of sharpened their fangs, coaching in the MAC. They picked up on that. Very, very loyal fan bases, and it's translating now where now the entire country is excited.
One more thing about Ron Cook Jr., because I do think it deserves a credit. You're right. I think that the running game for UB is going to be a big game difference. We saw Ohio averaging about 500 yards per game. They're letting their defense give up. It's a lot of yards. Yeah. Ron Cook Jr. got his first 100-yard rushing game on the season last week against Toledo, against one of the toughest teams in the MAC. He also did had a couple good receptions. He had his best game last week Now he heads into Ohio, who arguably lets up a lot of yards, especially, I think almost close to 200 rushing. Could be a big game. Could be a big game for Ron Cook and that running crew.